Hello everyone. In today's video, I am going to be going through the notes over 7.3, our triangle similarity types. I've already filled in the definitions, if you will, so I'll more so just be talking through the examples, how those look, and how they work. So we can have three different ways of proving that two triangles are similar if we have limited information. If we know all the angles and all the sides, then we can prove it that way, but these are shortcuts, if you will. If you have two triangles that don't fit into any of these categories, then they're not similar. So, first we have AA, angle-angle similarity. Two pairs of corresponding angles are congruent. If we look at our picture here, hopefully you can clearly see this. Angle A here is congruent to angle Y. They both have two curve marks, or I've actually started calling them bands, and I actually like that, two bands on them, if you will. And then same thing, angle B is congruent to angle Z. They both have only one band on them, so that makes them congruent. Here we have our two pairs of congruent angles. That's all you need. So that's enough to be able to say that these are similar by AA similarity. For the similarity statement, let's say that triangle CAB is similar to triangle. Now we have to put the letters in a very specific order based on the order I gave you here. And actually, just to align with the notes that are posted online, let me flip these. I couldn't remember off the top of my head what they were, but I do have my key nearby. I can see that it's supposed to be CBA. Yeah, I'll just rewrite it above. Okay, let's do that again. So triangle CBA is similar to triangle what? These letters in the second triangle have to go in a very specific order. There's one right way to write this. If you put anything besides the correct order, it's obviously going to be wrong. So let's see, CBA. We start at the angle that has nothing on it, so that's going to be X. So we go C to B, so we go from the blank angle to the one with one band on it, so that's Z. And then we finish off by going to our last letter. So X, Z, Y has to be the correct order from there. Next we have side, 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 SSS similarity. With this, you have to have all three sides of both triangles. If you're missing any of them, then you can't use this one. For this, all three pairs of corresponding sides are proportional. So we need to set up a proportion. In 7.2, we worked with given similarity statements. And when we had the similarity statements, we could easily match things up because they told us, reminder, similarity statement looks like the one above here. The letters tell you what pairs up with what. We don't have that here. So instead, we have to use another strategy to set up this correctly. Here's my tip. It's basically two steps. You're going to take one triangle, typically I start with the left one, and you're going to put all those numbers on top here. Then you're going to take the other triangle and you're going to put all those numbers on bottom. So you have one triangle on top, one triangle on bottom. Let me pause for a moment. Mark this 10 out and make it a 12. I did make the change in the online copy already. So, I'm going to put all the numbers in the left triangle and put them up here. On top of that, I'm going to put them in a very specific order. The easiest order to always use is smallest to largest. So, I'm going to put the smallest side 12 first. Next, the medium size side 15. And then lastly, the largest one is 21. Then I repeat that with the bottom triangle. I'm going to put the smallest side first. So, that's going to be 20. Next, I put 25, that's a medium, and then 35, that's a large. Those of you may be wondering why I put these specific numbers together. Remember with proportions, proportion refers to, well, just in general, a size comparison. So if something's proportional, that means they match in size. And when we say size, we don't mean like they're exactly the same size, but that, you know, small things go with small things and large things go with large things, that concept. So the small sides of both triangles have to go together. The large sides of both triangles have to go together, that thing, that idea. So hopefully that makes sense. That's why I paired these the way I did. So all you have to do is verify that they are proportional. You'll need a calculator for this. So you just divide all of these fractions to make them into decimals. They are all supposed to come out the same. If any of them come out different from the other numbers, then these are not similar triangles, because that would mean they're not proportional. First, we do 12 divided by 20. That's 0.6. Next, we do 15 divided by 25. That's also 0.6. And lastly, we do 21 divided by 35. That's also 0.6. So this is what you want to see. They're all equal, so they are proportional. So we can say by SSS similarity that these are similar triangles. The reason to specify what type of similarity, or to specify that similarity, is because remember, we do have SSS congruence. We learned about it last semester in Unit 4. So similarity and congruence have some overlapping names. So we have to make that kind of distinction here. Okay, for this one, let's say that triangle BAC is similar to triangle. We have to give the second triangle a name. So, BAC. This one's a bit trickier. When you're working with sides, it's not as obvious how the order goes. So you really have to use everything around the letters to figure out the order. So if I start with B, notice where B is at in the triangle. It's in between the smallest side of the triangle and the medium side. So small and medium. So we need to look for that same angle on this triangle. The small side is 20, the medium one is 25. So that angle in between them is F. So it's B and F. So we got B, F. Then we go from B to A. So we went along the smallest side, the shortest side. So I have to go from F to E to do the same thing in this triangle. So E is second, meaning D has to be last. So get your first two letters, and then obviously the third letter will fill itself in. So again, pay attention to what's around your letters. That'll help you figure out the order. This genuinely takes practice, though it's not something you really get quicker at. Like if you notice how I did it, I mean, obviously I'm breaking it down, but I still am pretty slow when I'm naming because I want to make sure that I actually am confident in my answer. So I don't rush that process. If I need to take my time, I will. All right, last one combines the top two. Side, angle, side, SAS similarity. That's when we have two sides, two pairs of sides that are proportional, and then the angles in between those pairs of sides are congruent to each other. So, first things first, I check the angles, because if the angles aren't congruent, then this entire similarity falls through, because we can't just use two pairs of sides. That's not enough. So, my angles are B and F. They are both 50 degrees. So angle B is congruent to angle F. So I've met the first condition. Second condition, check that these pairs of sides are truly proportional. And make sure you understand the idea of included too. Included meaning the angle in between the two sides, or the angle made by these two sides. You see that where they meet at B, that's our angle. These two meet at F, and that's our angle. Okay, back to the proportional sides. So we're going to set up a proportion. We only have two pairs of sides, so we're only going to have two fractions here. And then the process I showed you before. Put one triangle's sides on top and the other triangle's sides on bottom in order from smallest to largest. So we're going to do the left triangle first. Smallest side is 12, biggest side is 24. And then on the bottom, smallest side is 8, biggest side is 16. So again, check with the calculator. This is the part you cannot skip. If you're going to go through all the work of filling the numbers in, you might as well check them with the calculator. A lot of students would either just not set this up last year on the test, and they would just not set it up. They would assume it's right, and it's not. Or they would set it up, but then they wouldn't check it with the calculator. That defeats the whole purpose. Actually take the time to do this step, because you might discover you're actually not looking at similar triangles. 12 divided by 8 is 1.5. And repeat 24 divided by 16. Also 1.5. They are equal. So these are similar triangles. Our reason is SAS, similarity. For our similarity statement, let's say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle. We have to name the triangle on the right. Also be careful. I put these in alphabetical order because why not? The second set are not going to go in alphabetical order, so don't rely on alphabetical order either to get you through these problems. Genuinely look. A, B, C. A, and actually I can kind of do a shortcut here. B is a congruent angle, so we know B is congruent to F for sure. So F is the middle letter. You know that right off the bat. So D and E are going to go on either side. So let's figure out if I put D first or E first. So if I look, A is the angle that is touching the blank side and the small side. D touches the blank side and the small side, 8. E touches the blank side, but it also touches the big side, not the small one. So A and D are in the same position in both pictures. So D has to be in the same place as A. So E has to be last. D, F, E. All right, that is all for this video. When you're doing these problems, I'm going to show you an example of that for the homework of how to use these notes. But when you're going to use these for your problems, you're going to be able to very easily narrow it down to one of these three options, maybe two in rare circumstances, and then it either works for that category or it doesn't. If you have any additional questions over these notes, feel free to reach out to me either via email or if you see me in person. Otherwise, you all have a wonderful day. Bye.